You're going to want to listen to this story. I'm on my way up north with the Delta Force dinghy. Buddy and me are going to go do a 3-night, 2-day float along a river. Fishing. I'm going to bring the turkey gun because I still got a turkey tag. I got my hood up because the mosquitoes are so bad, right? But anyway, on the way up here, I realized I forgot my fillet knife. So I called my buddy, or I text my buddy and said, "Hey, you got a fillet knife?" He said, "Yeah." He sends me a picture of this little thing. I says, "What is that? I mean, what are you going to do with that? Clean a smelt or a creek chub?" And of course, he hurled a couple of obscenities at me, which a lot of good friends do. And I'm like, dang it. Then he sends me a picture of this other knife. I'm like, well, that's going to have to do. So I get closer to camp, and all of a sudden I remembered that last year when Dante and I tracked this buck, we tracked him for 7 miles in a fresh snow, windy day. It was a perfect day for tracking. Ended up killing him 7 miles into the day, and it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, middle of nowhere, no cell reception. And we were wet, cold. We were 4 miles from the truck. And I said, "I'm going to gut this deer out for you, pal. You start a fire. And so we can dry out our gloves and get warm a little bit, man, because otherwise us sitting still here for a little while, it's not good, you know? Christ, get hypothermia." So he does that. I got the deer out, whatever, and we warm up. And I'm 99.9% sure I left that fillet knife, because I usually take a fillet knife. I love cutting up deer, skinning, quartering, whatever, cutting them up with a fillet knife. So I know, well, 99.9% sure I left that knife there because I couldn't find it after that. So on the way up today, I thought, you know what? I'm going to walk back in there and see if I can find it. Find the exact spot where he gutted it, or I gutted it, and then we walked out. It's about 3/4 of a mile off this old Forest Service road. So I'm going to go wander around back in there and see if I can't find this thing. So yeah, that was anyway, that bucky shot. We picked this track up right away in the morning. And like I said, it was really windy, nice fresh snow. And we ended up, like finishing them off late in the evening. And no cell service either, which anybody use InReaches? Because I've really seriously been looking into one of those. Because, man, I mean, we get in a lot of these places up here, middle of nowhere at 4 o'clock in the evening. We're 4 miles from the truck. No cell service. Can't get a hold of anybody. And you just got to hoof it out, which would be so much easier, obviously, if you could call a buddy, phone a friend, say, "Hey, here's a pin or Forest Service road or something. Come and get us." Would be much, much better. Well, all right, I'm going to shut this down, navigate some of this brush here, and then I'll get back to you when I get closer. Well, according to my Onyx hunt, we were somewhere right in here, and there's a creek bottom right there. We had jumped that thing. He had crossed the creek twice, and we had to go up the river quite a ways, find a beaver dam where we could walk across it because the creek was so deep. We did that, and we finally ended up getting them along there. Right there. That's where we burnt the Must have had a fire. Man, I don't see the knife though. Dang it. Tell you what, that fire was a lifesaver though. But he built that. Where exactly? It almost looks like some of the stuff fell down since then. I wonder if the deer was over here a little bit further. And now the knife is underneath this stuff. Pah! Swallow mosquitoes. Well, as you can see, I found the fire spot where the fire was, and then you can see in the two pics I put up here, then and now, that's where I gutted the deer out. But ever since then, I couldn't find that knife, or can't find that knife. So, man, I don't know what would have happened to it. If I did stick it in a bag and a backpack or somehow, and I left a pocket, one of the front pockets kind of half open, and it fell out, or what? I was hoping for a happy ending, but no dice. Well, made for a good story anyway. Oh, and not to mention, that seems to be my MO. This past weekend, if you looked at or saw the video, I walked 9.5 miles in to get a camera. That's been there for close to a year, and it never worked. Never took one single picture. So, in and out here, walked 1.5 mile round trip. Didn't find my knife. Well, I don't know, it's still cool. I'm really a sentimental freak anyway, so it's kind of neat going back there to reliving that memory with my kid. First series ever tracked in the snow and shot. Seeing the fire and everything, and just the memories we had around that. That's priceless. All right, now we'll see you tomorrow on the river.